What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys for coming back, for kicking it, for checking out the channel. If you're new here, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. Make sure you're following us on TikTok. And follow us on Spotify also if you haven't already. In tonight's episode, we have Houston Heat's own Ronnie Dizon. Ronnie's been a pro paintball player for quite some time now. If you haven't heard of him, go check him out on Instagram. Check him out on YouTube as well. He has a very successful page where he has all of his vlogs from the traveling, practices, his off-season drills, everything. Ronnie's a great guy. I'm so thankful we got to sit down, even after little technical difficulties on my end, you'll see. But it was still a great conversation. Can't wait to have him back on. Hope you guys enjoy this episode.
Okay,
Dude, I'm never such growing pains with this.
there you go. It's okay
Anyway, thank you for coming on, for kicking it. I appreciate
for
it.
sure.
So,
That's awesome. Thanks for having me.
absolutely, man. So, I've been following you for a hot minute. Clearly, I got to rep it. You know,
There we go. The merch.
I love it. Um, do your whole story from starting off. I know I just went back and listened to Play the Game podcast with you on it. I heard you got shot by your own cousin first time out.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
heard all of that. Dude, from starting up till now, is this what you thought it would be? Did you think like pro was a goal in the
Hmm.
beginning?
Um, so like upon starting, I definitely didn't think I was going to pursue this. I actually was really into skateboarding, so I thought I was going to be like super good at skateboarding, and until I realized that I was going to break a bunch of bones to be good at that, so I was like, I'm okay. I'm going to try paintball again. So I was
Nice.
in like that young phase section where I would try a bunch of different things, and yeah, paintball. I don't know. I think it was like the one of like the fourth or fifth times I came back, and like I actually was shooting people, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. And then it just kind of caught fire from there. So I think the one thing is like a lot of the media, like I had DVDs, paintball DVDs, and those were the things that kind of kept me into it,
Mm,
which is funny because now I'm doing obviously some paintball media on the
yeah.
YouTube. So it's like full circle. Like if a little DVD could help me play paintball, right? Then it's like, and like inspire me. That's the huge like driver of why I love to show the content of paintball. So
Yep.
I didn't know where it was gonna lead me. I wouldn't. I mean, I couldn't like have a direction, but I did have the dream of like being able to travel the world and play paintball, and that came true, which was really cool.
Yep. So
Yeah.
what you're at, I think the last time I looked, you're at 298 videos, I think is when I looked earlier
Oh
for your
shoot, I haven't
YouTube.
even looked yet.
Yeah,
Yeah. No. Yeah. We're getting close to 300, huh?
that's insane.
Yeah. It's
Almost
nuts.
300. And I know I did write this one down. 29,000 subscribers. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. It's
And
great. I
that's
mean,
that's something that's going to
I
be around.
Yeah, so I did fall short of my goal. I was trying to hit 50,000 last year. So if you guys are watching, subscribe.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I fell short of it, but also I had a lot of things happen in my life last year. So it was like a trade-off because it was like I had a lot of situations where I had to move from different places because we now in the current place I'm in, we were waiting for it to be finished. But now we are settled and we're ready to rock. So full steam ahead. I got a lot of stuff coming up, but yeah, we it's cool that you had all the metrics right there. That actually makes me realize in two more uploads, the 300th episode, maybe I should do something cool.
Yeah, man, just like how again Play the Game just had their big episode, having
Yeah,
it's it's awesome to see when you go onto the field, you have that interaction with all of the other pros also. So
yeah,
you it's awesome to see them willing to come on and actually not shy away from camera, or just because I've seen not your videos but like others, there you can see people just kind of shy away from cameras, which it sucks to see pros do that. I love the interaction like with you, Tyler, Marcelo. Godfather
hmm,
Greenspan is the
hmm,
king of social media. I love seeing that, and it's awesome to have that all around. Um,
yeah.
Dude, the one thing that stood out from listening again to the other podcasts, 2011 versus Dynasty under the lights in Vegas.
Hmm,
Dude, what was that
hmm.
like?
I mean, I've said it once and I've said it again. That was the biggest pinch me moment. You know what I mean? In my entire paintball career, it always will. It always has been. There's only a few wins in my career that ever got me close to that feeling. But no matter what, like that was like we're talking that whole year I played Division 2, man. Like,
Mhm.
and then I was like, "Hey, you're playing pro. Hey, you won." And it's like, "What?" Like, so like it was like a week straight of me going, this is unbelievable. You know what I mean? So um again, it's back to that dreams come true moment where it's like you can do it, but you have to do so much. I did so much visualization, so much work, so many little things, right? You know, so many little tiny things in my day to day being in high school to like lead up to that moment. So the cards lie like they fell where they were supposed to, right? And I'm forever grateful for that moment just because it made me realize that there was a lot more potential than myself, you know, and that's hard for people to realize on their own. And most people never actually reach their full potential because they put limiting beliefs on themselves, you know.
Mm,
So I think the one thing that and the message that I'd like for people to take away is like limiting beliefs are things that like you know you fully believe in is why the reason you're in the situation you're in, you know. So it may be because you don't have money, or it may be because, you know, you're like, if you're short, you know, I'm short, right? It could be small little things where you're like, oh, I'm not where I am because of this, this, and this, but that's taking that victim mentality. So if you can snap out of it and realize you're in control, you know, that that's gonna change everything in your life.
awesome. So
Yeah.
I know you said about traveling. Where has paintball taken you that's been your absolute favorite so far?
Oh, I had a lot of fun in Australia. You know, if you guys saw the Australian series, being able to go over there and being picked up by people I've never met in my life, and then playing, you know, X amount of tournaments and really becoming a family out there. So shout out to the Marauders out there and what they brought me and helped my round my career as like being more of a leader. So that was one. What else was really cool? I think going to Thailand was really cool, because it's just a complete culture shock, you know.
Hmm.
If you've never been, it's like just lawless out there. So it's chaotic. So that's definitely one to experience. So those two are cool. The Europe trips are awesome. I think Prague is one of my favorite places I've ever been to in my life.
Yeah.
So if you've never been, I think Prague probably takes the cake. I went to Amsterdam, and I didn't really get to experience it because it was raining. But I'm going back Monday for
Oh,
the
nice.
Airsoft Nations Cup. Actually, me and Yaya, Mark
Oh
Cresson,
man,
we're all playing the Airsoft Nations Cup.
nice.
So I don't even know what to expect. You know, and it's going to be a blast. So I'm excited to go out there again and actually give Amsterdam a second shot because I really truthfully didn't get to experience it. We were so busy playing the tournament, and then the 1 or 2 days we had like going into the city, like it was kind of fun, but like because it was raining, we didn't get to like really explore. And we did most of the exploring before the event, so it's like we can't really like go, you know, have a few drinks or like get a little
Yep.
crazy. So that's that. But then afterwards, I think I was just so fed up with the rain, I changed my flight. I was supposed to stay another week, but I was like, I just want to go home at this point. I just
Mm,
wasn't. It wasn't. You know, I was like, it's just gonna rain for another week, and I could just be home. So,
yep.
um, so yeah, Prague. I'm sorry, I went on a tangent there, but Prague is. I think Prague's one of the coolest places I've ever been to.
That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've gone through the rabbit hole of your vlogs and getting to see like just the culture over there and paintball. It's similar, but then they also have their own insane style. So
Yes.
it's awesome getting to see that. Again, not being able to travel, getting to see that through other vlogs like
Through the
that.
vlogs.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I hopefully that inspires people to like want to be like, I want to eventually travel the world and play paintball. I mean, you know, you get to see things because of the sport, you know?
Yeah, and even circling back to the vlog, like seeing your vlogs in the beginning, that's what made me start playing paintball. I had
Really?
my little mini
Yeah, I think you've
GX,
told me that. Yeah.
and then I went, and of course, the first day I went out was the big Baltimore Revo mega tryout practice,
Oh, and then
and
you were just like, whoa, this is crazy.
yeah, I got lit up by Chris Shear. I'll still never
Yeah,
let
there
him.
you go.
I will never let him live that down. He bunkered
Shout out to
me.
Chris Share.
Oh, that was great,
Yeah.
but it was awesome. I got to meet him and
Yeah.
little Chris Caputo back then. He was only, I
Yep.
think he was still D3,
Hmm.
and getting to
And now
watch.
look at him.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome. I get to see him out at
Yeah,
the field all the time too, and
for
he's
sure.
awesome. Little sneak
That's
peek, he
great.
will be on this podcast soon.
Nice. Hell yeah.
But yeah, dude, getting to see everything and like even if someone isn't into paintball, they get to see the family aspect of it again with Houston Heat and Mama D and Sarge. Dude, that is one big family, and it's everyone thinks, oh, it's just a team sport. Like, no, it's so much deeper than that.
Yeah.
So getting to see
Yeah.
that, like, it's huge.
Yeah, and also it's like we are such a different team than everybody else. So to see our dynamic is like a glimpse in what like the most like weird dysfunctional family you could ever imagine, because it's like, okay, like you got people from overseas, you got people from here, you got like, different personalities, you got all these different like things and thrown into a pot, and then that's Houston Heat, right? So it's like
Mhm.
most teams are like, oh yeah, I'm going to see these same guys on the weekend every weekend, but it's like I don't get to see these guys until like, it's the layout weekends. So
Yep.
um it's it's crazy. It's crazy. Definitely. It's a dysfunctional functional family.
Yeah, there you go. So kind
Yeah.
of tying back into traveling and everything like that. Just from the little bit of time that I was able to follow him, I noticed Tim Montresor was the king of travel. How was it like being
Mhm.
around Tim and learning from him and getting to see him play?
So that's the thing is like when I was younger, I met Tim in 2010. And right off the bat, he was already a super down to earth, nice dude. And then to be able to like be, a part of his like social circle session and
Mhm.
essentially, he was always very caring, very funny. He was always goofing off. He was always playing jokes. You know what I mean? So to have that lightheartedness, and I kind of like I learned a lot of that from him, and then a lot of off the field things that I learned from him. Um, like for example, when I travel now, I have my gear bag, right?
Mhm.
And then inside my gear bag is a duffel bag,
Hmm.
and in that duffel bag's my paintball gear. So hear me out. So everybody travels with their gear bag, right? And it's always so dirty and whatever from all the tournaments, right?
Yep.
So when you travel, you got mud all over your shit. You know what I mean? You can never really like grab it nicely. So what he taught me was is like put a duffel bag in a gear bag, put all your gear in the duffel bag, and then when you get to the hotel, the duffel bag stays at the in the room, and you just pull the gear bag stays in the room. You pull the duffel bag out, take that to the field, and then when you go home, just put it back in. You have a clean luggage the whole time, and that has stuck
So
with me for
smart.
so long, right? I've done that for so long, and that was because of Tim. And I was like, "Whoa, that was like genius!" It's like a luggage carrier, or like a gear bag carrier.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like little small things like that, like I picked up from him, and it taught me how to be a little bit. He taught me how to be a little bit more minimal within my life.
Mhm.
Taught me how like you didn't need to have so many things in your life. Which I was actually right before this. I was in the middle of like trying to purge some stuff for my office. I have way too many like small little knickknacks and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, to learn that from him. He was such an inspiration. He was such a good person, and he was the best of us. And definitely he will be missed, but his legend will continue to live on. So yeah, for those of you who are listening, if you've never met him, he was a
Right there.
one of the there it is, yeah, the TM40, huh?
Yep.
So it's like that's a big thing about the TM40 markers. It's like it's almost like he's always with us, right? If you're
Mhm.
on a Lux team, obviously. So yeah, I mean, he was just a huge mentor to me and a lot of my peers, and he'll be missed.
That's awesome. Yeah, definitely
Yeah,
getting to be in a different like couple different group chats with some pros because of PTG. Like you see Tim's name come up and it's always the same thing. The laughing,
yeah,
the traveling, like just the amazing person he was. That's awesome to
yeah,
hear.
for
But
sure.
outside of that, who are your who's your favorite person that you've played with not on Houston Heat?
Not on Heat. Are we saying recently, or are we saying all time?
Do one and one all time, and then who have
Okay,
you played with more
and then
recent that
recently.
hasn't been on Heat?
Okay, all time. Um, Man, that is a very difficult one. Because I've had a lot of teammates over the years. So it couldn't be a previous Heat player, is what you're asking.
Yeah, someone outside of the Heat camp.
Okay, so it couldn't be on the Heat camp.
Yep.
Okay. Jeez, you're really putting me on the spot here. Let me see if I got any on my wall.
There you go.
Oh, actually, I think it was really, really fun to play with Marcelo. I played in Thailand
Mhm.
with him.
That's
I had
awesome.
a really great time. I learned a lot from him, and to be able to play alongside of him, I've always been a fan of his career, and I've always watched him. So to be playing alongside of him was really cool when we went to Thailand. And it was actually funny. He wasn't even supposed to play the Thailand event. He actually went there for a vacation, and then I talked him into playing and getting the team I was playing with to to get him on the squad. So yeah, that was fun. We didn't really do. I think we got like fourth, but then we won the Nations Cup with like Team USA, so that was
Yeah,
fun. And Tim played on that team too.
there you go.
So that was cool. I as far as all time, I mean, like that's he's definitely like
Yeah,
top 5 in my book, but that's a difficult one. But off the top of my head, like just I mean, recently he sent me his jersey, so that was really cool.
yeah,
So
cool.
I take a lot of inspiration from him. Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, I get
Awesome
to.
dude. I love Marcelo.
I'm doing the PTG Pro School out here in Jersey in a couple weeks.
There you
I'll get
go.
to be with him and Tyler. I'm excited for it.
Nice, dude. You get to learn from the best, man. The absolute
Yeah.
best.
As soon as I think Quinn sent me a message. I was one of the first ones. As soon as he put that up, I went on right away and grabbed my spot. He sent me a
Yeah,
quick
for
DM
sure.
on Instagram and was like, "Dude, I didn't even finish uploading everything." It's like,
Yeah,
"Yep, I was waiting for it. I've been so excited
dude.
to get on that." So,
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
so
So
currently, who is it
currently, oh
on?
yeah,
Who's it
more
on Houston Heat
recent.
now?
Okay, so we're gonna put Heat into the mix now.
Yeah.
Shoot.
Because I know
Shoot.
you're always messing with Mishka and you're always messing with Fedorov, but then
Yeah.
Yaya's your boy too. So
Yeah, so man, this is a difficult question because it's like, what do I base this off of, right? Because as of recently, if we're talking during the tournaments, um, like being able to like connect with Ryan Moorhead on the Dorito side has been really cool.
yeah,
Because a lot of the times I've been playing behind him, um, and he's been. I let him do his thing and fly down the field, and then I'll just do the cleanup work. So, it's been cool to connect with him. In the recent years, just because like I feel like him and I were always playing opposite sides of the field, or we were competing for spots. So to
mhm,
play alongside of him has been great because we really bounce well off of each other.
yeah,
Not to say that the rest of the team I don't, because I could
right,
say honorable mentions with the rest of the guys, like I've been playing in front of Sam for a long time. So having Sam play behind me has been great. Playing
yeah,
with Yaya because we're best friends off the field, you know what I mean? Playing
yeah,
with Tyler and connecting, in those 2-on-3 situations, chat across the field. I mean, I can just go down the list, Fedorov and
yeah.
if we're gonna go currently, and I'm just gonna name one person, Ryan Moorhead recently has been a rock solid Dorito player that I've been able to playing behind him. And that's just off the last few tournaments. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah,
That's awesome. So
yeah.
coming up the ranks, who was one person that not so much you tried to like mold your game after, but who was one person you would kind of try and look at like, all right, they snap shoot this way, maybe I can do this. All
Mm.
right, they run and gun like this, maybe I can do it like that. Because
So
now
I'm
you
gonna.
hear a lot of like Marcelos, or you hear a
Yep.
lot of either you or Tyler. Like, who would be one that you would say?
Here's the issue with that question with me. I am
Mhm.
the epitome. I don't know if that's the word to use. I am literally the combination of. I I try to embody every successful professional player. I'll
Okay.
take a
Yeah.
I'll take a piece of communication from Marcelo, and then I'll take some snap shooting skills from Jacob Edwards, and
Mm.
then I'll take some running and shooting techniques from Fedorov, you know what I mean? And I'll
Yep.
take some snake skills from like Mouse, right? I'll put all these things together and I'll make it into my own style, right? Because I feel like that's you don't want to exactly be like someone all the time because
Right.
I've tried that. I've actually tried. I've tried to be more like Fedorov or I've tried to be more like Mouse. And what happens is you get away from your own swagger. So if I like something and I want to implement something and I've learned something from a player, I'll take that from them and I'll incorporate it into my game.
Okay.
So I can't answer that question honestly
No, that's
because
perfect.
it's every single pro player I watch, I go, okay, I'm taking that. And especially for a specific tournament, be like, okay, that guy did this like this. I'm
Mhm.
gonna do it a little bit differently, or I'll copy exactly how he did it. Boom. Okay, I'm gonna put it into my own swagger.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of the successful players. They'll watch the good players and they'll go, huh, okay, this guy's, he's stepping this way when he shoots the shot. I'm going to try that. Oh, it worked really well. Okay. There's a reason why this player was doing that.
Mhm.
So, that's my answer.
No, that's
All of them,
perfect.
every fucking one of them.
Yeah, definitely, especially with the way none of the fields are the same now, especially
Yeah.
this year. Everything's been all
Crazy.
kinds of thrown a place, which is
Yeah.
awesome. I love to say it. Sometimes there's way too many goddamn bunkers in the center. Still love it.
No shit.
Especially, and I'm the same height as you. So when you're
Yeah.
throwing fucking bricks out there, I'm
Yeah.
not seeing over it. It ain't happening.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry about it. You know what I mean? So
So, but that's awesome. No, I like the making everything your own and twisting it on yourself because that's what's gonna work.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. It's like if this person holds this gun a certain way, I try to figure out and I hold my gun the way they hold it and be like, nah, that's not gonna work for me. Or it's like, oh, okay, I get it now. You know what I mean? So
mhm.
small little quirky things like that, I really catch on quick.
Yeah, absolutely. So I
Yeah.
know we kind of touched on it a little bit. Would you say that 2011 night is that the highest point in your career right now up to this point, or do you think there's one
Mm,
that really is the cherry on top so
are we
far?
talking years or are we talking just tournament
Moments.
wins?
Yeah, we'll just say
Moments.
moments.
Hmm. I don't want to say that's the highest. That's probably the
Mhm.
most like shocking moment in my life
Okay.
when it came to like winning. I want to say 2018 World Cup and 2018 was a good year for me. 2018 World Cup and 2018 Texas when I got my first MVP or my only MVP.
Yep.
Those two were huge just because it was like I was on a hot streak that year.
Mhm.
Um, so that was I think those were like right parallel with that Vegas win.
Mhm.
Um, but but yeah, as of right now, like yeah, like those take the cake in terms of like my career wise. Yeah,
2018, the World Cup. Is that when that's when your dad was there, right? Is
yeah, it was the
that what it
first one
was?
my dad was there, so that's why it was a little bit more memorable because the Vegas one was just like me and the Aftershock boys, which was
Mhm.
huge, you know. But the one that really gained the respect from my parents, like truthfully had
Yeah,
their epiphany moment about what the fuck I actually do and why I love it. It was that one.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Now, on the flip side, with this podcast being the highs and lows, what do you think is the low point that you've reached during your career?
Hmm. Um. Well, let's see. Low point of my career. I think a big one was when I got cut from Houston Heat and I had to go figure out where I was going to play because I kind of had an identity crisis because it was like up until then I was the Houston Heat Ronnie. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, but I was so young and naive and I didn't understand how to think for myself. You know, and that to me was like a low. I want to say it was a low point, but it was also a blessing because it taught me a lot.
Mm.
So that was a low point because it was like, man, I got kicked off literally like the one of the most fucking well funded, like you have it made, like it's everything in the world you ever wanted. And now I have to like figure out where I got to go play. I got to like, I went back to school because I'm like, I don't even have direction in life. Like there were so many things going on in my life that I was lost for a little bit, you know?
Mhm.
And it was like, it was almost like gave my parents always told me like, when the paintball thing's over, you're gonna go get a real job, that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
And that was almost a moment. Now that I'm telling you, I don't know if I've ever said this on any other podcast, so make sure you guys tune into the highs and lows. So I don't think that like when it happened, I was like, damn, my parents are right. The paintball thing's over. Like I have to go to school and go find a job that I really may like or may not like, or I got to find something that is going to replace this void of what I devoted my life to,
Mm.
so like I remember when I stepped back into college at the time, I was like almost depressed because I would be going to these classes, right? Knowing like what I like going from like Europe every weekend and playing paintball every weekend and traveling and playing paintball for 2 weeks in a row and like grinding with like my best friends to just sitting in this classroom learning like, a math formula or something, right? And that was like the most depressing thing to me because I was like, man, I know there's more to this, Like
Mhm.
like, and everyone in the classroom, I'm not saying that's like, I'm not judging, right? But like knowing what I knew and going what I've been through, and then sitting there in the classroom and seeing like, an 18-year-old kid out of like high school who's just like, he doesn't know where he's going either.
Right.
And it's like it's almost like I want to inspire him to be like, dude, there's so much more. There's
Yeah.
so much more in the world, you know what I mean? But it humbled me. So it made me realize, there's everyone has to start from ground zero and work their way up and grind again, you know? So once you have a setback like that, it's like, am I gonna just sit there and be depressed the whole time and
Mhm.
be bitter and then like never go back to playing pro again, you know?
Mm.
Or am I gonna be like, all right, like I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do, but I'm still gonna grind just like I did right before I got back on heat, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So
definitely like that little like a reality check almost. Like, oh,
yeah.
I was on that pedestal and now
One
I'm looking
second
up
you
at the
won the World
pedestal.
Cup. Yeah, one second you win the World Cup, and then the next second you're like, fuck, I gotta do homework. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, you know what I mean? But like that was when I was like 20, you know, or 20 something, like young, very young, you know.
Mm.
Obviously now I realize, you know, I mean, there's no shame in going back to school. There's no shame in doing these things. But like for me at the time, my ego was so fragile because I was like, damn, I was like a World Cup champ, and now I'm like back in community college.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah, sitting in class going, "Yeah, none of these people would know I was in Europe playing
You
paintball."
ever
Or
see
like
you ever see that meme where it's like there's a guy at a party and they're like, none of these people know that like
Yeah.
I'm like ranked super high in Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
like that thing where it's like, oh yeah, like cool, dude. Like like you got to live in the moment. So
Mm.
but what it did, yeah, it taught me. It's actually going back to school and stuff taught me how to sharpen up on my social skills and my networking skills, and helped me realize, like, okay, cool, like I could actually mature more because the maturity level kind of halted because I went to go play paintball. And when you're playing paintball with your boys all the time, you're just a fucking
Yeah.
goofball. You know what I mean? So like, you never really got like a hard reality checks. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, the game will teach you that, and the game taught me it. I got cut, you know, so to be able to work back and get back on heat was like a testament to my willpower.
Yep.
So there's a lot more left in the tank, though. So there's a lot more to happen.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
looking at some
fucking
of the
right
guys
there is.
now, absolutely. Especially with the way this season's going, dude, it's anyone's
Yeah.
season this year. It's awesome.
Yep.
Fingers crossed. I'm hoping for you guys. I was sitting there watching even Philly in the last couple tournaments. I'm like, all right, here we go. Here we go.
Mhm.
Damn.
Yeah.
So, but that's the best thing about paintball. It's not, for a while, it was the same, all right, here we go. Same team. And then it's like coming into Sunday, you're like, all right, now it's the storyline. The same thing that Matty Marshall always says. This is the storyline that everyone looks for. All right, who's going to take down this team right here? You know,
Hmm.
and I know you're from Chicago. Who was going to dethrone the Bulls back then? Who was going to be the
Yeah.
one to take everybody down? And like it just happened. So now it's like,
Yes.
okay, looking forward, now it's like, all right, is damage going to stay up or
Yeah. Is Dynasty
what's
gonna
going
bounce
on?
back? Is X Factor gonna bounce back? Is he? You know what I mean? There's so many different storylines. So yeah, I just got to make sure that I write the story the way that I think it should be written.
Yeah, absolutely. So kind of going back a little bit, simply because I wanted to ask this. When did you decide, all right, I want to make a YouTube. I want to put this out there for everyone to see. Like what was your motive behind that? Is it just trying
2015.
to like get more eyes on it or
I just wanted to share. Okay, so it's back to that school mentality when I was sitting there in class, you know? I wanted to share to the world all these cool ass things that I did that I never got to share. So when I had the opportunity to, and like, you know, when I was on Aftershock, you know, I'm really grateful for the guys on that team. You know, like there's some of those guys are still lifelong friends of mine, you know? Um, but what I learned was like, you know, I really wish I would have started it earlier, you know, because
mm,
it would have been really cool watching all of the work behind the scenes that I did. But when I was on Aftershock, I would just drive to the field locally and I wouldn't go anywhere, you know? So when got back on Heat, I was like, oh, cool. I get to travel again. I want to show the world what this is,
mm,
you know? I want to show the world all the work that goes into paintball. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's that. But yeah, that was the moment because I watched a lot of YouTube videos prior, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. So, and then when push came to shove, I'm like, okay, I actually have to do this. So I have to actually start filming. I actually have to start learning how to edit, and yeah, and I learned a lot along the way. But what the one thing that I want to take away from wanting to start the YouTube is there's a lot of people that will judge you. And I'm not gonna lie, there were a lot of people on the team when I started filming. They were like, "Why do you have a camera all the time, dude?" And now it's like, "Oh, okay, it's Ronnie with his camera, right?"
Yeah.
Like there's a
Yeah.
big difference. So like before though, when it first started, I mean I love my teammates, but they were very judging about it. Like they were like, dude, you're filming all the time. Why do you need to do this? What's the what's with the camera? You know,
Hmm.
and I had the bigger picture for it, so it didn't matter to me. But a lot of people will stop when people start judging them like that. They'll be like, "Oh shit," like you know, maybe I'll
Yep.
just stop filming. You know what I mean? Because they get that anxiety and they're like, "Oh man, everyone's making fun of me." It's like, no, dude, just push through that. You know, own it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Yeah. I was doing it for a little while, and I won't
yeah.
say the team, but I got bounced from a team because I had my camera there all the time,
Oh
dude.
man.
It
Well,
it was gut wrenching. It was one of those little reality checks. Like, all
just
right,
because you had the camera?
yeah, dude. They basically, I got pulled to the side one practice and was like, listen, you need to focus on getting better, this, that, and the third. You're moving the camera around. You're constantly trying to do this. You're uploading this instead of getting better here. Like, that's it. No more. Either stop with the camera or find another home. And at the
Mm,
time, I was like, all right, well, fuck it. If you're gonna give me that ultimatum and I can't video it all, then I'm out. Like, there's no happy
yeah,
medium here. I'm not
it's okay.
stopping something that I love. So,
Yeah, yeah, I mean, there is a balance though, right? There is that
oh
line where
yeah,
it's like, okay, like, are you focusing to be a good YouTuber, or are you focusing to be the best paintball player you could be? So, I'll tell you what. As of recently, people have said like, oh, the Dizon docs are a little differently. It's like, yeah, because like as I'm getting older, it's getting harder to become the better paintball, like the best paintball player in the world. So that like 90% of my focus is going to that versus going to the vlogs,
mm,
which, and I'll tell people straight up, it's like as much as I want to upload every day, as much as I want to pull more content out, you know, unless I have, you know, somebody doing it for me, you know, it's like
yeah,
it's almost impossible, right? So I do have some editors that are helping me, which is helping me tremendously. But at the same time, I'm focusing on being the best paintball player I could be. So that takes maximum effort and that takes 100% of my attention sometimes.
yeah, definitely. And even
Yeah.
even you can see your game from this year to last year, like just me watching the streams. Dude, you're far ahead from where you were last year, and that's just
That's
me.
awesome. That's
I'm a
awesome.
nobody, but I watch every single tournament, and I can notice it. I look for different players on the field, and
Yeah.
it's insane. And I still think the vlogs
Yeah.
are great, and I think, dude, you're still getting insane feedback. You're still getting the shares, the views, everything. It's still doing phenomenal. So,
Hell yeah.
and that's what like drove me to start this podcast is like my love for not just like the mental health side of everything like that, and like trying to make sure people stay in touch with themselves, also like what they're doing as their day job. But I love videoing. I love doing the editing. I love being able to be behind the camera and also, you know, reach out to other people as well. I love it.
Mhm. Yeah.
So,
That's great, man. That's great that you're doing this. This is huge for paintball. This is huge for um, the sport, and this is huge for yourself. You know, because you
yep.
love what you do.
Yeah, thank you. Hopefully
Right.
we'll I be able to look back and look at these little technical difficulties that I had in the beginning of this and little more episodes and be like, "Man, look at that."
Now
So,
you're gonna crush it, man. You just can stay consistent on it. You're gonna learn all those things along the way.
appreciate it. So
Right.
my last big question, which we kind of
Yep.
touched a little bit, you said you got more in the tank. Your
Yep.
legacy as a whole when, you know, when you put the cleats on the shelf, whether you're done coaching or whatever, that'd be awesome to see you as a coach later on. That's way down the line. What do you want your ideal legacy to look like? You know, is it trying to think like picture how not trying to say look at somebody else, but the Greenspan still going almost in his 50s, like, you know, you look at that and it's like, holy crap, look at the insane run. Or is it like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie was able to be successful in YouTube and that's his whole legacy. You can look at it as a video. Like,
Mm. Hmm.
I knew this
I
was going
think
to be
as
a
of
tough one.
I oh no, this is a very easy one. I think as
Oh, I
of
love it.
recently, I truthfully want to be considered one of the most elite players. So whatever it's going to take to do that, whether it takes me having to put the YouTube aside or me having to, you know, slow down on, you know, especially with the opportunity that I have right now, I can't let that opportunity be wasted because I'm distracted by other
Hmm.
outside influences. So for me to try to become a very consistent elite player, it's going to take everything I got. And it's going to take the team firing at all cylinders. So if I could be the best teammate I could be, that could be my legacy. If it could be the best, whatever player or whatever role needs to be done, that will be my legacy. But I want to make, I still have so much passion for this game that I don't think I'm even close to hitting the potential that I know I can hit when it comes to, you know, like it sounds selfish, right? In a sense, but I think people have to be honest and have that a little bit of selfishness. And for me, the, after getting like a single MVP, it's like you get that taste and you're like, "No, I want another one," I
Yep.
wanna keep fucking stacking them, and I wanna stack dubs with my squad,
Hmm.
and I wanna stack rings with my squad, so I want so much more, and until you keep getting more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're always hungry, so, that's what I want right now. I wanna win,
Yeah.
and truthfully, I wanna win Chicago more than any tournament that I've ever played,
Yeah.
so,
Hometown. That's awesome. It's
yeah.
crazy that it's already a Chicago event. Holy hell.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
hell yeah.
insane. So
Yeah.
that was my cherry on top question.
That was a good one. That
I
was a
had
really
that
good one.
saved. But outside of that, what do you do to prepare for the next event? We have this is one of those weird gaps in between events where we have a little bit longer. And then,
Yeah.
other than the last event going into World Cup, which is a gap itself, what do you do
Mhm.
small wise or training or you're always down at blast camp. I know that, which is awesome.
Mhm. Yeah, I try to get to the field as much as I can. Obviously with the summer hitting, there's a lot of events going on, whether it's holidays, whether it's um my sister's gonna have a baby, so
Ooh,
that's
congrats.
huge. Yeah, yeah, thank you. So there's a lot of little things like that and birthdays and all these little parties, and especially because in Chicago, as soon as the sun's out, everyone wants to be outside and
Yep.
party. So that's kind of a distraction sometimes from the bigger picture of me wanting to win a tournament. So um, I think I have to just make sure I don't let that kick me off my path too hard. It's okay to have that balance and
Hmm.
enjoy. And I do have a lot of fun with my girlfriend and my friends, but at the same time, I still got that laser focus on the goal, and it's the mental mindset that's how I'm preparing for this next event. That and cold plunging every morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though this morning I didn't cold plunge due to some a bunch of crap, but um, I might still get in.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's being able to go through hell in that first few seconds of your day or first few minutes of your day, and then getting on with your day. So that combined with I have a trainer right now. That's
Nice.
his name's D Kim on Instagram. It's like D Kim Fit, and he's actually helping me with a different program and formula for training. So just staying fit, staying consistent, and almost as if we have an event next week.
Yep.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I definitely I've gotten into the cold plunges
Oh
recently.
yeah.
Dude,
I saw in one of your podcasts you were in it during the podcast, right?
yeah, they
Yeah.
so I think I'm saying it right. I think it's New Recover. So
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
they sent me a message, sent us one, and
Mm.
dude, I was so skeptical with it. I've wanted to pull the trigger for a while. Well, now it's
Yeah.
coming to my doorstep. I don't have a choice. Dude, I did it probably 12 days straight. Felt
Nice.
phenomenal. I was
It's
sleeping great.
incredible.
Dude, and I tell everyone, dude, just try it. Get in your tub if you don't want to
Yes,
spend
that's
the
what
money
it
for it.
is.
Just
Just
try it.
try it. Just try it. But you have to be obsessed with it.
Mhm.
And I think you kind of have that. But yeah, I think you have to be obsessed with it to really do it consistently. Like, that's
Oh,
really the
yeah.
bottom line. Because I know people who do it occasionally and they're like, "Oh yeah, for sure. It's like awesome." But it's like I'm obsessed
Yep.
with it. I'm obsessed with the cold exposure and the benefits. I'm obsessed with waking up early and doing that the first thing ever. And it's something about like having that willpower, right? Because it's
Mhm.
like a lot of people I love when people say like, "Oh, I'd never be able to do that in the morning." It's like in my head, I'm like, "You are
Check.
mentally weak. You're mentally weak, bro."
Yep.
Like, that's what I have to say, Go fucking do it, like, go do it. And the fact that you don't think you can do it is the reason you should do it.
Yep.
The obstacle is the way. So, um, Yeah, I think it's huge. I think everybody should do it.
Yeah, it sucks. I would love to do it in the morning. I do it in the morning
Yeah,
on Saturdays and Sundays, but I get up at four
sure.
o'clock in the morning for work. So
Oh man, yeah, you got a torch schedule. So
yeah, dude, and I'm working an hour away. It sucks.
yeah,
But
yeah,
coming home from work, well, my girlfriend and I will hit the gym, and
yep.
that's the cherry on top of our day right there. We come home,
Boom.
we
Does she
relax
do
in
it too?
there. Oh yeah, dude, she's a warrior with it,
Nice.
man.
There we go.
She kicked my ass the first week. She was in there
There you go.
probably at least 30 to 45 seconds longer than I
Nice.
was.
There you go.
And now we're dabbling in like the 8 minute range.
Yep.
And if I get out at 8 minutes and 1 second, she's in there for 8 minutes and five. She's
There you
gotta
go. So she's pushing it. She's
Yeah,
competitive.
dude, it's awesome. And she's the same way with
Nice.
paintball too, man. I'll get up in the morning, she's like, "All right, let's go." I'm like, "Okay." Like,
Nice.
"All right." I'm like, "Man, it's raining
Motivation,
now. Like,
man.
I hope practice still on." She's like, "It'll be fine. Get in the car."
Yeah.
All right, fine. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
So,
squashes your excuses, man. That's good.
yeah, she holds me accountable. So, it's
That's
awesome.
good.
That's definitely, especially with the sport that we're in, the dedication. Mine is a little less than yours, but even she'll help out with my son, or she'll help out
Yep.
with stuff at home. Like,
How old's your son?
he's 3, man.
Oh, I
Already.
heard three's worse than twos.
Yeah. Because he's
Yeah.
starting to form sentences and he's picking up on a
Oh
lot of
yeah.
stuff, and
Yep.
he's using words I'd rather him not use, but he's using them perfect sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I gotta really watch what I say around him. Dude, he's so
There you
smart
go.
though. It's awesome
Nice.
getting to watch him grow up. And he's already, anytime I'm out cleaning my gear, dude, he'll come over and grab the gun and he's walking around with the gun.
Oh, he's
Like,
showing you who's boss. Yeah, for
yep.
sure.
He
It's like
grabs
it's gonna be me.
Yeah, he'll grab the X. I'll have the X sitting out and he comes over and I'll hear click, 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 click. I'm like,
Yeah,
nice. There we go.
yeah, yeah.
So that was gonna be a wall
Cool.
hanger, but it might wind up being his first gun when he starts out. We'll see.
Dude, don't ever sell that one, dude. That one.
No.
Yeah, yeah, but won the ultimate shootout with that one too.
Ooh, okay.
That's the exact gun that he used. So if you go back and watch it, you'll see it. But
Nice.
yeah, that gun's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had some people walk up and like, yeah, what would it take for you to get rid of it? Nothing. I'm
Nothing, man.
not getting rid of
Fuck
it.
yeah.
Like,
That's sick.
everyone has that one piece. So I got one of your
Yeah.
jerseys somewhere over here with Tyler's.
Yeah.
It'll wind up going
Hell
up
yeah.
in a shadow box once I'm done with it. So,
That's awesome. That's awesome. I appreciate that, man.
but yeah, man. So where can everyone find you on Instagram, YouTube? You know,
Yeah.
where they can come and follow you.
Obviously, yeah, YouTube is my name, Ronnie Dizon. On Instagram, it's at Rondon Dizon because somebody has Ronnie Dizon already. And then what is it? For now, those are the two. Those are the two main ones right now. I'm on Threads at Ronnie Dizon or at Rondon Dizon. It's the new Twitter.
Yeah, something like
Uh,
that.
I, I tried posting on it, and it's just it's a different platform, so I need to
Yeah.
understand how it works. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, those are the main ones. So catch me on there. Make sure you guys, uh, you know, tune into all the future podcasts for you.
Yep.
You're gonna continue to crush it, and if you need any help, let me know.
Absolutely.
And yeah, that's basically it. And my one
Awesome.
message to take away is go do something. It's like no more excuses. Just go fucking do it.
Awesome. Ronnie, thank you so
Yeah.
much for coming on. You're
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
Keep killing it this year. And
Fuck
hopefully
yeah,
I'll be
baby.
out at
Gang
World Cup
gang.
with you. Gang, gang. I
Yeah.
appreciate you, Ron, so much. Thank you.
All right. For sure, man.
Take it easy.
Peace.